that captured your attention at the conspiracy trial?
Well, it was the greatest circus of bigotry I had ever heard, directed against young people who were now the 32 and 33-year-old equivalents of James Dean, who wrote pamphlets that were of such sophomoric and collegiate humor, like the stuff you write before homecoming games, which were taken seriously by the court. So one day Lee Weiner came to me and asked if I were a friend of Groucho Marx's, and I said yes. He said, do you suppose we could get Groucho as an expert witness for us? And so we'll try. And he says, somebody has to explain our sense of humor. And he's the only man in the United States that we know of who can explain our sense of humor. And to see Dave Dellinger, the oldest of the group, and a Quaker pacifist, be the only one to put his body in front of Bobby Seale to protect him from the blows of the police. There's so many things. I'll make it someday. After we finish this one, maybe. And the next one. Hey, you bums, look at them. Hey, look at that bunch of... Look at those magnificent bastards in there. Hey, get us out of those cats in there.
Well, I was talking to Howard Hughes.
Oh, get in the window, you schmuck. Hey, get in the window, yeah.
Francois Boucher with you. And he says you're a bastard. I think you got your pancake on over there. He says you're a bastard.
Nick came and virtually changed the whole cinema department, the whole idea of filmmaking. And I think he has a huge amount of insight into everybody he's known for a while. And he employs those insights for characters in a film even. He's a con artist, and he knows how to manipulate people, if that's an acceptable word, but that's part of the talent of a director. He's always wanted to be cherished by young people, and he scorns his own generation, which has rejected him, apparently. And he just likes working with young people. As far as his role in the film, which is a essential part of the whole film, he's, as a character, I guess he's something like the parole officer in Rebel, always caring for young people, and he's been like a father to us, and a counselor, and a teacher at the same time.
Scenes even of Kate Cameron.
Ray's unconventional teaching methods demanded intensive involvement from his students, leading them to adopt a communal living arrangement that brought down continual harassment from conservative university authorities. Eventually, the group was forced to move to a farm just outside of town. Gradually, under Ray's direction, teacher and students alike attempted to develop an original approach to filmmaking that would express in a new way the process of self-discovery that has always been one of Nick Ray's central themes.
Look, I like this quality on here better than I like the correction one.
Which one is it?
The overexposed one.
Why do you like that one better?
Because I like it better. Look, this is dull. This could be the many aesthetic arguments. Character in the world. Look at this.
I know which shot it is. I know which shot it is.
So this is dull as hell, you know?
There it is.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with his strange, like, communal living college film class, Nicholas Ray.
Yeah.
He had everybody staying with him in this, like, kind of shack thing, and they were just kind of making a movie. I think the movie is We Can't Go Home Again, I want to say.
Okay.
The movie that they ended up doing.
I don't know most of his later films. Like, I don't know. Are they good? Does anyone know?
I don't know. But yeah, this We Can't Go Home Again is the thesis film, and it's Tom Farrell, who was the person who like you saw getting interviewed there, and was also asking the questions. But I guess is like I looked up his highest known role or whatever because he's an actor in on IMDb, and it's Screaming Man in Paris, Texas, which I don't know.
Well, it's a very, I mean, I don't know if the Screaming specifically sold that film, but it's a fantastic film.
Yeah. So can I talk about like the predictions for tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Are we gonna jump right into the politics? Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah. So if Kamala
Mark the time,
wins,
6 minutes, 51 seconds. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, if Kamala wins North Carolina, it's over for Trump. Like that. Like if they call North Carolina,
Yeah.
that's it. Done. We're good.
I agree.
Like a lot of people were saying that, Trump is freaking out about this last minute surge she's got. And I'm like, okay. I mean, some people's like, people on the left are like, here's my prediction. It's like she's getting like 315 electoral college votes. I'm like, I don't know about that.
well,
She might still be in the 200s. Like she ain't getting every swing state.
It's called
I'm getting
Wishcast.
very nervous that we're hitting like 2016 levels of there's no way she's gonna lose. Like I'm getting nervous.
Well, here's what I'll say living in swing state Wisconsin
Mhm.
is that there is a lot of, first of all, a lot of people at the early voting centers, and my early voting centers are all in about the only mixed neighborhoods in Milwaukee, which is incredibly racially segregated. And even amongst, there's the extreme exurbs and like the villages and whatnot, Waukesha County, where it's like those are always Republican strongholds. There's like less Trump stuff around than you might expect. There's a couple like weird billboards and stuff, but it's like these are people that are like, acolytes. They're Trump acolytes. So I will say this. This feels from a on the ground perspective way more Democratic leaning than even 2020.
Yeah.
Now that said, I'm in one of the most democratically leaning cities in the entire state. But I
I'm in
honestly,
New Jersey, which is going to go blue no matter what. So
Right.
I'm in a little bubble that's
like I'm from Oakland, California, right? So the Bay Area, which is like possibly one of the most liberal areas in the entire freaking universe.
Yeah.
But like
Have
this
you
is
lived there during
very
the
much
2020
it's
election?
swinging. I lived in Milwaukee during 2020, and we moved to Milwaukee in 2017. So the first midterm election where Democrats actually started to make gains, and we kicked out Scott Walker. That was I
That
was
was
here for all that.
good. I was like,
That was
I was like, yes,
That was
because the
Not-
damage is going to take decades to repair.
that was a stretch goal for moving here, by the way.
I was looking at like tweets of people that were going through like rural Pennsylvania and reporting on like how many signs they saw and like
My sister was saying that.
That's a good point. So as you all know, we just played Detroit recently with God Bullies. So we got to drive through that lower Michigan, like just right above Indiana area. Huge Kamala presence. Like huge. And like with kind of really sharp messaging, like things like Donald Trump will raise your taxes with this specific thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that actually might play here.
So
now,
are-
that said,
Did you say you're in the Bay Area now, or you're
no. I've lived in Milwaukee since 2017. So I'm in the only the only racially mixed neighborhood in Milwaukee, which is a highly segregated city. And I say that
Actually,
because I come from Oakland, which is one of the most integrated cities. So it was
actually
a
it's
fucking
pronounced
culture shock.
Milwaukee, which is Algonquin
okay,
for
yeah.
the good land.
There you go. There it is, everybody. Alice Cooper.
Yeah, you know what's I don't know what's more delusional: the liberals who think she's going to get over 300 electoral votes, or MAGA people who think Trump's going to flip New York. I'm
Well,
like,
that's insane.
It's called spin. It's just called spin. Like it's people kind of just wish casting their best case scenario.
Yeah.
into either it shouldn't be really paid attention to, or like
So here's what I'll tell you. During the main show, I got texted 4 times by separate orgs asking if I knew where my polling place was, if I was going to be voting. Keep in mind, I already voted. We both already voted. But like, we get glassy mailers. I almost took a picture of it. I was like, nobody wants to see this. We all know. But like, this thick. It was like a phone book of glossy mailers.
yeah.
2 of which were from Jill Stein, a couple which were from the Trump campaign. Boy, do you have the wrong house. And
Yeah.
and the rest of them were just like, various advocacy groups, the Harris campaign, this, and it was like, okay, cool. I hope these are actually going to people that like don't vote in literally every election.
Yeah.
But
I
I
already
somehow,
voted, so.
it was more than in 2020. Let's put it that way.
I got onto somehow onto some list of like Ohio, which is nowhere near. I mean, like I'm in the part of New York that's way closer to like
Adam,
Pennsylvania. If it was
please.
gonna be so
Yeah.
like there's just I got on some fucking text list of a Republican GOP person running in Ohio, and they keep texting me. They're like,
Oh, all you gotta do is get on
something or
one, and
another.
it's like it follows, man. It'll
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah,
follow you
that's
around.
why I tell
They're like
the,
Megan something in Ohio led the fight against bail reform. I'm like, I'm in New York. We already have bail reform. This is like, nothing about this that's accurate.
So how many of us are going to be voting tomorrow? I know that I voted early. I know Conan, you just said you voted early.
I
how many
voted
people?
early.
I voted early.
I think early.
I'm gonna
early?
be I'm
Mail-in,
gonna
yeah.
be voting. I'm gonna be voting tomorrow. My vote doesn't really matter
Okay.
for president because I'm in New York.
I'm in
Answer the question.
Massachusetts, so I
Don't
feel
make
you
it
as
become a
well. But yeah.
I mean, that was one of the biggest bummers about being in California. They would literally call the election before like the polls closed. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how Prop 8 got passed, by the way. Everyone was fucking, oh, Obama won, cool, let's go party. And it's like, cool. You just voted for you voted discrimination to the state constitution. It took 2 years to get it out of there. It was ridiculous. But that's also just hashtag West Coast problems.
I have like a district for congressional stuff that's very close. So I'm gonna go tomorrow and vote for my Congressman Pat Ryan, veteran for Congress, who I don't really like, but the alternative is a MAGA former NYPD officer whose
Ew.
big scandal in the NYPD is that she arrested an infant and stopped and frisked the infant. And then her campaign had to put out a thing that said she's never arrested an infant. She's never detained an infant. She served New York City as an NYPD captain. And it was like, okay, but that doesn't mean serving New York City as an NYPD captain does not mean she didn't arrest and detain an infant.
I just like the idea of detaining infants. Like I imagine like a crib, like a paddy wagon, but it's like
Yeah. I was imagining like she picked up the kid and she's like, is there a
Law
I
and
go
order
on the world.
maternity
There are some infants I would like to detain. That's relatable if you ask me.
But there's-
My
but there's
sister
that-
wanted
but
to
there's
detain
that-
the downstairs neighbor's kids because she couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah, muzzle that child. Thank you.
But there's a famous
Children.
there's a famous video I always play for like random people. There's the Eric Adams video where it's like he's teaching parents how to find contraband in their
Yes.
kids' or whatever. But he's like a baby
The most
doll and he
obvious
reaches into this kid's doll and pulls out a big bag of weed from the back of the doll. And I'm just kind of imagining that's how this lady tried to arrest and detain an infant. It's like, what? I took
Oh.
Eric Adams' advice literally. But she's not even like a lady. She has no presence here. She's never lived here. I don't get how this lady ended up being the one running for Congress. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Anyway,
I mean, like,
we'll see.
We'll see.
But I feel like it's going to be a
Tomorrow.
Harris win, and I feel like we won't know much of anything until Thursday morning. But I agree.
Either way,
If-
I got booze and stuff for tomorrow just to get me.
I got
through it.
booze for tomorrow too. Tomorrow night.
Yep.
If you see North Carolina go early, that would be a huge bellwether for sure.
Yeah.
And I also think that to
Hey, I'm
put a
just thinking
blunt
about Bender's advice because that's what he's been saying, and he hasn't gotten an election wrong.
to put it bluntly, I feel like the polls. I don't think things are nearly as close as they say they are, and I
Yeah.
think very rightly that there's
one thing-
maybe I
one
can finish the sentence. Perhaps you think I could do that?
No. No.
I think that there is a radical undercounting of a bunch of lady voters who are
Well, not just like
very rightly
young
pissed.
young people and older women is what I was going to say when you said the poll thing.
Yeah.
I instantly thought of that. Like
Yeah.
young people and older women, they've actually come out and said a bunch of polling places like, hey, we've undercounted young people and older women, the two groups
Yeah.
that are most likely to be pissed about the whole abortion.
Yeah.
But the most likely to be able to get on a boat off the Titanic first. So, that's where that Venn diagram
True.
crosses over.
It is kind of wild. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm super stoked that we not only did an episode, but did this movie, which I love. Harry, you were great. Thank you for being on the episode.
Thank
by
you
the way.
very much.
but because it's a nice break from the just incessant barrage. Like I have taken to like when I'm doing like work stuff, I have to like put my phone in do not disturb because I have so many orgs. Like I'm like, can't you tell that I've already voted? Because that's one of the reasons why I early voted is like I just want to stop. I just don't want to be hassled about it anymore. I usually like going the day of to see what the count is and to see, check it out. And I'm like, you know what? Not this time because I'm literally getting 20 messages a day. Like I'm glad I got unlimited text messages. I'm glad they're doing the work. Just go get someone that doesn't volunteer on campaigns and stuff. Go get them.
Yeah, you need a little Democratic Party.
Jesus.
So, Christina, tomorrow you'll be starting this coverage about this at what time?
1:00 Eastern.
That's a long time to be covering this. What kind of topics do you think you'll be talking about? I mean, are you going to try and watch it live? Is there?
I heard you say that, and I got tired somehow. Like when I heard, when I was like, "Wow, that sounds." Wow.
We're gonna be bouncing around from like network to network, it seems, to see like what like everyone else is saying. I mean, during the day, we're gonna be talking about like the polling and all that, and then of course later when we go on Leftist Mafia, and we're also gonna try to have fun because we're gonna have a lot of guests on during the day. So I'm like, ooh, I wonder who.
My invite always gets lost in the mail. It turns out, must be all the mailers from the political campaigns. But.
Yes, definitely. So it should be lots of fun. I'm gonna be dressed.
Is it just gonna be like just the whole time the same folks, or like again like take breaks?
No, well, it's gonna be
out.
Yeah, people will be tapping in, tapping out. Throughout. My sister's gonna make like about 2 quick appearances because she already voted and she does not like Trump at all. I mean, she voted for him in 2016 and she's like, I regret it. And I'm like, I thought you were smarter than that, but
how does that happen?
Wow,
she hates him.
No, but like why'd she vote for him the first time?
Was it like Jews for Buchanan or something? Like what was it?
I don't know. She's a big Clinton fan.
Chad.
Like she's a big Clinton fan, and I'm like,
how do you go from a Clinton fan? I assume she voted for Obama. Like,
yep.
So how does she go from one to the other? So
I don't know. She was going on a centrist streak, I think, but she's moved a little bit more liberal.
And this was for Jersey, so it's not like it turned the state, right? Yeah, she votes out of Jersey. Yeah,
we're gonna go blue no matter what. We may have a Republican governor, but we always go blue in terms of president.
The Trump campaign keeps saying they're
it may be Menendez, but you go blue. I love. What was it? Gold bars he had? It was like fantastic.
Gold bar Menendez.
Fucking no notes. It was like straight out of The Sopranos. Oh yeah, let's get some gold bars. Get him on board.
Kill his parents.
There you go. There it is.
Well, that's very interesting. And the coverage is going to stop. Like we're not sure if they'll make a call by the end of the night. Do you guys have a cutoff when your coverage is going to stop?
Probably 1:00 in the morning.
Okay.
Until the wheels come off.
Yeah.
Just so you know, as someone who used to work for Milwaukee County, that's when most of the early vote drops happen. Is 12:30 to 1 a.m. Central Time, and that's also where a bunch of people
counting.
And that's also where a bunch of assholes and idiots who don't understand anything were like, "Oh, it's rigged! It's rigged!" It's like it's the fucking early votes, you fucking ignoramuses.
Yeah,
and some states have made it illegal to count early at all. Like in my state, they can count as soon as they start getting them, and some they can't count until tomorrow.
Red states. But you know what's a little funny story? My uncle, who's a big MAGA guy, loves Trump. Just the ass. But when he lived in New Jersey, he had to fill out a mail-in ballot for South Carolina, and we had to send it to him. Guess who was against, the vote absentee mail-in ballots? My uncle.
That's hilarious. Can I say I have our production document open. I'm putting a peek behind the curtain. I'm looking at other theme months that they've proposed. So we have one that's 12 Angry Men, My Cousin Vinny, Anatomy of a Murder, Anatomy of a Fall, In Cold Blood.
Yeah, Law and Order month.
No, I called it Judgment Night.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Legally Blonde apparently is in there too. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go.
That sounds good. Yeah. Dude, I would be so stoked to do Anatomy of a Murder.
They said I was illegally blonde, and that's why they made me go bald.
That's why they made you shave your head. Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, throw in Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah,
That's good.
that technically is a law movie.
Make
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
question.
Yeah, is this man really Santa Claus?
So what's crazy is we only ever did the one noir month, so obviously there's a bunch of stuff like left on the table. Like
Yeah.
By the way, you said Maria Gates retweeted the promo for the show. I didn't realize Maria Gates created Noirvember. Like she is
the progenitor of Noirvember. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Did you hashtag
Yeah.
November in your?
Oh,
Is
maybe
that
I
how
did.
she
Maybe
thought?
that's why she. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Hey, I'll take it. Hey.
Yeah.
That was smart of me to possibly do that. Did I do that? I don't know.
'Cause I
Anyway.
saw who she was, and I was like, "Oh God, I hope I didn't sound like an idiot."
No, she's rad.
Enjoying my life.
Yeah, I know. The struggle is real. Yeah. I don't know, but it's weird we've only done one noir month. I still that noir theme slaps too. It's good. I just pull that on mothballs. I already got it. I don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do for December. I have to figure something out.
Bam, 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 bam,
We're doing
bam,
Dystopia
bam,
December, Harry. So we got we're
Right.
doing Brazil, Children of Men, Blade Runner 2049. We already did the real Blade Runner. A City of Lost Children, Akira.
Very nice.
Is that our first
missing
animated film
something.
too?
Dark City.
No.
We did.
Dark City.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
no,
It
we
was
did
in
My
the
Neighbor
first round.
Totoro for one.
When
episode.
when I was out, I was on tour then.
Yeah.
One of these days, we gotta do This Is the End.
I love that movie.
I wanted to put Gattaca on, but it didn't make it.
Watch that
This is
psychology
the
class.
end.
Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Yeah, my favorite
Gattaca.
is like for This Is the End. Most of that was improvised, but of course, my favorite part was the ending with the Backstreet Boys. I was like,
Yes.
yeah,
Of course it was.
yeah. But
Gattaca for
also,
me-
Emma Watson's scene was hilarious. She finally dropped an F-bomb, and I was like, Hermione
Oh
Granger
yeah, that was good.
said a bad word.
What's up, Harry?
Gattaca for me was similar to, I think, Forrest, you said In a Lonely Place was like you had no idea. You sort of walked in not expecting anything, and it surprised you. Gattaca for me was that movie. It was like I was not expecting a whole lot. I didn't know what to expect, and I came out of that like, wow, that was awesome.
So good.
This
I
is the
enjoyed the
movie
hell out
that
of it.
Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman fell in love.
Mhm.
Doing, right? Yeah.
Oh, was it really? Oh,
So
yeah.
you can thank for Maya Hawke, we can thank Gattaca for why we have
There you go.
that daughter that looks like Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke.
It's all connected, people. No, yeah.
I really-
Also, great usage of the Petaluma Convention Center in the North Bay, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright building, which is the futuristic building that they filmed that in. And I always used to drive by it and be like, it's the Gattaca building.
My dad probably watches that and then shakes his fist because he had like a big crush on Uma Thurman. I mean, every guy had a big crush on Uma
Well,
Thurman.
yeah,
She-
line
she, like,
line
always
starts
on
here,
it.
bud.
she had her house up here and he like joined some yoga. She was like going to a yoga studio and he's like, Uma Thurman goes to the yoga studio that I just started going to. And I was like, you signed up to go there for that reason. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Stalker material.
Gattaca really hit me in the same way because I remember thinking like, Ethan Hawke, whatever, and not expecting him to be so good in that role and not expecting it to be so nuanced because of that casting choice. And yet I'm
Yeah.
really glad that they decided to do that and be like, shut up, you just don't know how good he is. And he is definitely someone who's getting better with age. His choices, the stuff that he does, like, yeah.
Can I just say though, the Before series, he's kind of amazing. But I saw those like 3 years ago, and I was like, how did I not see these movies? Like I even like Richard Linklater a lot. But
Why
like,
didn't you see them
these-
before?
These are like the best romance movies in the history of like moviedom, and I somehow missed them. I don't know. But
Gattaca
yeah.
is one thing that I really love, and it's probably the one thing I love most about it. It's a small science fiction film. It does not feel
Yeah.
big and expansive.
Yes.
Sort of like Moon. Moon is another one of my favorite
Moon.
sci-fi films.
Yeah.
And it's very self-contained. I love it's just sort of its own little bottle movie. It's very good.
David Bowie's son directed that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Moon. Or,
Moon. Yeah.
oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. What's that guy's name? He doesn't go by Bowie. Duncan Jones.
Yeah.
Duncan Jones.
Oh, okay.
Moon's
Isn't-
great.
Isn't that Bowie's real last name, Jones?
Yeah. He was
Yes,
David
Davy
Jones.
Yeah,
AKA
just like
Davy
Monkey.
Jones. Which is why he
That's why I had
changed
to
to
change
David
his
Bowie.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
The least
He's a
David
daydream
Bowie
believer.
person I can think of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which is fucking hilarious. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess Dystopia December will not include Gattaca. We should just do Gattaca, though. That's a great fucking film.
Gattaca.
You should do
Gattaca.
in January, and then do Gattaca and Tomorrowland is a for me a very underrated film. I think Tomorrowland is terrific.
You know, I never watched that. Do I need to?
It was pretty panned when it came out, but I feel
I remember.
it's a very hopeful film. It's a film that really projects like hope and goals for the future, and I love the vibe of that movie a lot. So
nice.
All right.
One of these days,
Jared
we should do
also
like
talks highly of it.
Yeah.
Who does?
What?
Jared, the cinematographer that I work with, who's come on the show a bunch of different times, he did Girl in the Basement with me,
Skolnick.
which is my short film.
Oh,
So Jared
okay.
Skolnick is a writer and director out in LA right now, who I work with a lot. Yeah,
Of Woodfellas fame.
of Woodfellas fame. Yes,
Everybody's
his upcoming.
talking about
yeah,
Woodfellas.
They're all talking about it.
it's gonna. You're about to talk about it. Let me tell you what.
I told him I'd do the score.
We should do like a mind altering like reality of month. Like we could do like Inception.
Like Altered States? Altered States. Like Altered States?
Yep, Altered States.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Like something-
Scanner Darkly?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me write
Yeah.
it down.
Scanner Darkly is great.
I do love Scanner Dark.
Yeah,
Like,
because
we wanna put on these
there's plenty of
glasses.
movies that fuck
I'm in
with
an alternate
reality.
state.
So
Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do love Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic. They said that in Hit Factory.
yeah.
Hot take. I didn't care for Inception that much. Although I didn't
Oh,
really care.
tr-
For it. I did
trust
have
me,
to
us-
watch it.
The girl in my psychology class, when we heard that movie had Leonardo DiCaprio, Cillian Murphy, and Tom Hardy, we were like, "Oh yeah, we're watching this movie for 3 hours."
You're like, we don't care if it's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I watched. It with
I
somebody
reference
who's
it more than I like it.
Totally, completely gone. And I didn't watch it with them. I sat down in the movie theater, and they also sat down next to me, so drunk that they did not know what was going on. So I for a movie that
Ugh.
tells you literally what is going on, every 5 minutes they would turn to me and go, "Who's that? What's
Oh
happening?"
no. Oh
And
no.
so, like, my experience with that movie is
That's why I
is
sit in the
shattered.
back
Horrible.
of the theater.
This is why I
Why
go
more
alone.
People sit next to me. Yeah.
The people are like, the magic
Naked
of
Lunch?
the cinema, and I'm like, I don't know. Can you get it on VOD?
Naked Lunch, Donnie Darko. Yeah.
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 I hate Donnie
I feel like
Darko.
we got.
Sorry.
I feel like we got
Lauren
wow.
hates Donnie Darko too. Yeah, our friend Lauren, who is often on the show, she will say that.
It's divisive.
Yeah.
Donnie
I hate-
Darko.
I hate The Fountain, which is put up as a related film to what I just mentioned. I'm like, nope, never. Not in this man's army. Fuck that movie. I saw it in the theater. Piece of shit.
It
I
sounds
like
too much
Tarkovsky.
like-
Well,
it
I
sounds
will
too
say,
much like the Fountainhead, and I'm not.
yeah.
I heard it too.
I was waiting for Conan to finish. I was like, Fountainhead.
Thank you. No, just The Fountain.
Y'all got some Fountainhead up in the.
I will say,
We
though,
should
like,
definitely do Scanner Darkly, though. That's a fucking gem.
Yeah, I did it for I did it when I was on Ben's show, but and I read the book along with it, and like that was a good.
I'm a
was a
big
good-
Philip
yeah.
K. Dick fan. So
I think that was
Hey,
now
what
I've
are
read.
his fans called, guys?
They're called
Dicks-
dickheads. Everyone
Dickheads.
knows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think I've read a few Philip K. Dick books now, but like I think back then, like like a few years ago, I can't remember if that was the first one. I think that was the first one that I read was Scanner Darkly, and it was I forget who was doing the I think it was Paul Giamatti who was doing the audiobook. So I listened to the audiobook and it was him reading it.
Okay. Weird, but I'm into it.
One of the nice things
I love
about
a rotoscope.
absolutely, we've never done a rotoscope movie. Oh wait, no, we did Waking Life. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
But we one of the nicest things about being a former Bay
Yeah, it
Area
is. We did
resident.
Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti does if you download the Scanner Darkly audiobook on Audible.
Nobody
you
doubted
get
you.
You get his voice.
No, it's not.
We were all ready to believe you, Forrest. It's okay.
I was doubting me. I couldn't remember if that's who.
How dare you?
You snap corrected yourself. You snap assured yourself.
You just did this.
Breaking news: nobody cared. Yeah, but
Sorry. It's just weird. Anyway, Forrest.
being a Bay Area resident, all the locations of Philip K. Dick books, they're all in the Bay Area, and you can see them. And then it's all like Albany, which is not an interesting place to know. Not Albany, New York, Albany, California, which is like a suburb of Berkeley. It's like Berkeley, Albany, El Cerrito, aka Spanish for the Cerrito. also the home of Queens Clearwater Revival.
El Nino.
CCR.
The Bayous of El Cerrito, California. Yeah. Daisies would be good for that. Exterminating Angel. We had that in Marta's draft. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, we did have that there. That was an interesting one.
I like Buñuel, especially like that movie. That's his best movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you think about Buñuel, Harry?
Never seen it.
Oh, really? Okay. Have you seen any of his stuff, like Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, or fucking the one with the donkey, or
Never Shrek.
Yes,
Shrek.
yes.
Shrek the Third.
Louis Buñuel's Shrek. Yes, that's exactly it. All right.
Once in a
Tell you
while,
what,
you know.
I would watch that Shrek. I haven't watched the actual one, but I would. Fuck yeah, I would go out of my way to watch that. Women in the Dunes, it'd be good. Daisies.
Oh, so I finally watched The Substance.
Oh,
your
what
thoughts?
did you think?
I loved it.
That was very good.
Yay.
Honestly,
What
in
did-
the end, I was rooting for Demi Moore. I was like, I love Margaret Qualley, but like,
I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it.
she wore fake.
Oh,
she
God,
had
yes.
prosthetic boobs on.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah. Harry hasn't seen it yet, so please make sure. we
It's a
don't-
lot.
It's a
It's a lot, but I dug it. But it's a big swing, and there's a lot of very specific things that I liked about it that I guess you'll have to wait for the episode to hear. But I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool.
I
Well,
will
if
say
anybody's
though, I
interested
did
in
enjoy the
seeing
lack
it-
of dialogue in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it has got great sound design. They did a very interesting thing where they actually put microphones inside the ears of both of those actresses so that you're getting to hear the actual heartbeat of their
Oh,
drums and ears. So
wow.
that's not added in post as a Foley. It is added in post, but it's a specific recording of the performance that you're seeing. So while they're scared, you're hearing that they're scared. If you're interested in seeing this movie, guys, you can go and get a free trial to Mubi, a free 7-day trial, and you can watch it on Mubi like right now. So if anybody wants to watch it, it is
Mubi.
easy to watch and free.
Pink Girl, tell me about Mubi.
Pinko, why are you so excited about Mubi?
Why you smoke? Tell us about Mubi.
You know what's interesting too?
I tried to watch movie. I don't see movie. What movie?
You know what's very interesting too is that 5 years ago, was it 5 years ago that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and
2019.
a lot of the supporting stars like Austin Butler, Margaret Qualley, like a lot of them are now the new
Yeah,
faces of Hollywood.
I had no idea who the fuck any of them were, and now I do.
Yeah.
Now they're in every fucking movie ever. So,
There's one,
by the way,
there's
I'm
one
on the
screen-
fourth page of the surreal cinema list, and I'm like, all right, I think I need to stop now. This is like getting.
There's
Yeah.
one. There's one. I saw a screenshot from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and there was like Margaret Qualley sitting next to Sydney Sweeney, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yes,
now I
it's
know who both of them are, but I didn't know who they were at the time at all.
It's amazing how they all came about, like getting famous at the same time. All of them.
Well, we've
The
seen
one
this
I
up
did-
with like
the
St.
one I did
Elmo's
know was,
Fire and like the Brat Pack. Like we've seen this before, and it just happens
Yeah.
cyclically.
I watched that Brat Pack documentary, and oh my god, did they hate the label? Because the only person really was Rob Lowe and Demi Moore who had a successful career in Hollywood. Like everyone else, like sure.
I don't want to narc Carrie out, but his top 4 in Letterboxd: Casablanca, cool, Sweet Smell of Success, National Treasure, and National Treasure Book of
Stand by.
Secrets.
Finest films ever made. I
Really?
unironically, they are terrific.
That's great. I love
Wow.
that.
Steal the Declaration of Independence.
I
Yeah.
love a hot take.
Okay. Wow, that's.
If
I didn't
you got-
expect to see that.
You have a very understated performance from Nicolas Cage. You have
Yeah.
one of the greatest adventure films. Anything where you're solving clues and looking for treasure and stealing the Declaration of Independence. It's a Sean Bean movie where he doesn't die in the end. It's fantastic.
Can I tell you?
Amazing.
Can I tell you? I've never seen any of these movies. Not one.
I saw
They're
the
the
first
first
one. I
time. The
did.
first movie I remember seeing Nicolas Cage in was it was National Treasure.
It's
The
fun.
first-
They're a lot of fun. I enjoy the hell out of them, and I love American history. Like early American history is one of my biggest passions, and just it checks all the boxes for me.
I'm not mad at it or being judgy. I was just surprised. I was like, wow, okay.
A lot of people
I
are
loved hearing
surprised.
the reasoning as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I think what the first Nicolas Cage movie I ever saw was.
I think
Well, mine was
that-
Wild at Heart,
I
and
think
it was
mine
pretty
was
early
also-
on.
Because
I think mine was Peggy Sue Got Married.
I think
That was
I
probably
saw
second.
National Treasure in the movie theater in like 2004, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie I remember seeing in theater was Spider-Man.
The
I mean,
Raimi
it's
one?
not the first movie I remember seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is the first Nicolas Cage movie I remember seeing, and I remember seeing it because I remember seeing it in the theater because my grandma would always babysit us, like watch us when my parents were at work, and she wouldn't know what the fuck to do. So like half the time she'd take us to go see like kids movies up at the plaza.
All right, I guess if first, so we do, Harry. We have done a couple of them, adventure months, like adventure movies, month of adventure movies. So I guess if we ever cover those National Treasure movies, we'll ask you on for those.
Let me know. Yeah, well, it's funny because Marta did an episode of her show about National Treasure, and she had
Right,
this guy-
she mentioned yes, that's
she
right.
had
I
this
forgot
guy
about
on who
that.
claimed to be like the biggest National Treasure fan. It's like I got so angry, like to myself.
This
I was like,
punk.
what the fuck
First
he
of all, I
is.
didn't have a name.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Oh, that's
love it.
fantastic. My first Nicolas Cage movie was Raising Arizona.
For as much as I like the Coens, I saw Raising Arizona. That was like the fourth Coen movies, Coen Brothers movie I saw.
That was
Like,
also
it
my
pretty
first Coen Brothers movie. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what was my first Nicolas Cage movie?
I went backwards.
I don't remember.
It was definitely Wild at Heart, which ruined me early on in a good way. Which we've somehow also never done. We've done like a lot of David Lynch. We've never done Elephant Man. We've never done Eraserhead. We've never done Wild at Heart. And we've never done Lost Highway.
I don't know, just a
Or
lot of
Moonstruck.
movies.
There's a lot of movies out there. That Moonstruck episode was great.
You
There's a
know
lot
what
of-
movie would be fun to cover? Like maybe like a mentor month or something like that. Amadeus.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd cover that. I'd talk about that. Not really sure about the whole mentor month thing. I don't know. How I feel.
well, Lauren said if we ever do Amadeus, it's literally her favorite movie, so she needs to know in advance. To be
She'll
on.
she'll claw her eyes out.
She'll bring her piano in, and yeah.
It's so good. I just watched it a couple months ago again, and it's God, it's so good.
I'm really into the idea of doing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I forgot how much I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, we'll get to it eventually. What do we do? What do we got? January, we're doing the Eggers Nosferatu, right? And then we're going to do RRR with Alexis.
RR
right?
with
Trashwire
Alexis Gentry from Trashwire. Yeah. And that's one of her favorite films. She doesn't get to talk about Bollywood as much as she would like, and I'm super hyped to have her on for that.
I'm stoked
just
'cause-
talking to her about it on my show got me excited to watch it.
Exactly. And Forrest and KT can back it up. I really wanted to do that when we did whatever that year's Oscars was. But
Yeah.
it didn't fit. Because I was one that was like, I think it was the year before that, but I was like, you guys, it's got everything. It's amazing. You'll all love it for different reasons.
Baby.
Well, it was funny. It was 2022, but then the Oscars would have been 2023.
Yeah, but whatever year that was, it was a kind of an embarrassment of riches year, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah. Everything everywhere.
As opposed to this year, where it's like, I'm like, I don't know. Nora looks okay.
It's gonna be Wicked and the Substance.
Substance is not gonna get. It'll get a fucking makeup award. That's
It will definitely get a noted for Foley, for sound design. I think it'll get noted for FX and makeup.
Demi Moore,
I think they
hopefully.
might look at Demi Moore. I do think that they could be perverse enough to only nominate Randy Quaid.
Ew.
Oh my god.
I'm just thinking about that Reagan movie he did. and it's like, ew.
Not Randy.
Oh god,
That
yeah.
was-
Oh god, yeah.
Dennis.
That would be like when they nominated
Dennis, I would say
Gosling
Randy, but I-
for
Yeah.
Barbie. I know what you meant. For
I like
Barbie.
how
Oh yeah.
Dennis Quaid's Reagan, and then Randy Quaid looks like the guy that would have voted like most times for Reagan.
God, I can't
I,
Can I tell you
saw
how
a
stoked I
movie-
am? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I saw a movie that I thought would wind up being on our Oscars contenders just because it's Robert Zemeckis, it's Tom Hanks, it's Robin Wright. I saw Here this past weekend, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And Harry, did you get to see it? I know these guys didn't get to see
I
it.
haven't. I heard I heard mixed things about it. I heard some people say
Yeah.
it was terrible. I heard some people say it was okay. but the gimmick sort of wears after a while.
Just seeing the trailer, I can already tell that movie sucked.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, now he directed the Back to the Future films, right?
And Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and so he directed a lot of great movies, and also Forrest Gump.
They want him to do a Back to the Future 4, and he's like, how? He'd rather make the stage show into a movie musical, which I mean, the stage show is very successful because the cast is phenomenal and it's a pretty fun show.
Speaking of cast, he'll say Castaway, which I think is a very good movie, and Death
Castaway is excellent.
That's the first Tom movie I ever saw.
Yeah, Forrest Gump is groundbreakingly like put it in the film registry. That is a huge film.
He and Bob Gale have said they'll never redo Back to the Future.
Yeah. They wanted to make another sequel, and he's like, "No, I just want to, adapt the musical for film." And I'm like, "Let him do what he wants."
I hate Forrest Gump so much more than anybody can ever.
Of course you do, because you're named after him.
I've been plagued with that my entire fucking life, but I also just hate it for other reasons too.
Well, here's the thing. I'm named after Christopher fucking Columbus. How do you think I feel?
How does that work out? His name wasn't Christina Columbus.
But I was on.
Hey, Christina Columbus. Hey,
I'm named after
are you lost? Where are you? You know where you need to be.
I'm named after both of my grandfathers, one of whom was in a film with Frank Sinatra.
No, sir.
Yep, Step Lively, 1944.
That's crazy. I love that fact. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm named after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, but had the unfortunate timing to be born around when Conan the Barbarian was one of the biggest movies in the world that everybody wanted to talk about and still wants to talk about. And I refused to watch until I was 24 years old, and only then begrudgingly.
I get called Christina Aguilera when I was younger because that's when she was really like famous, and I was like, yay! But then when I found out all the shit about Christopher Columbus, I was like, my name? Really? That's who you name me after? Genocide maniac Christopher Columbus?
Yeah. No matter what your name is, somebody will find something to make you feel bad about it. Yeah. There's a book called Katie Did It that my parents bought for me as a child. Like, what is that about? But it's... Find the good ones. My middle name is Grace. My parents were big fans of Catherine Grayson, but they don't like the name Catherine. So, like, okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was named after trees. Like,
what's around here? There's some trees over there. Let's take a forest.
Which is already bad enough. But then Forrest Gump came out 1 month before I was born, and then the signs were everywhere. Forrest Gump. So there were 3 kids in my graduating class, all named Forrest. Oh, man. So like, it was a big name that year. Everybody was naming their kids Forrest. And I fucking hate that movie with such a fucking passion.
I was just glad when Conan O'Brien became popular. I was so just thankful that I'm like, oh, finally, there's a famous person. He pronounces it the same way I do. My life is going to be okay.
My sister was named after a song about a dead dog. So I was like, Mom, why?
The dog was named Indiana. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, she's like, yeah, I named your sister after a song called Shannon. And she's like, but in the end, the dog drowned and died. And I'm like, what? Like, what is with you and your choice of names?
What's this, like baby shoes for sale, never worn? What is this, like a sad sort of story?
So, going back to my original point, I was surprised to see that Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks and Robin Wright had come together to do something that at its best was mediocre, when I thought I would be talking about something that might be at least an Oscar contender on some degree. Although the swing at the cinematography might get it noted. I think it didn't work for me, but it was a big swing.
Well, and everyone complains like, there's no original films anymore. Everything's IP.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who's doing something different. Even if it doesn't land, at least he's got a voice. He's got a style. He's trying for something as opposed to, the next MCU movie.
Yeah, or a second screen media where like this is just supposed to play in the background while you do something else. Like you're gonna look at it.
I hate that exists. I hate it. Yeah. I want to see that the Brutalist movie with Adrian Brody. That's an A24 jam. Looks like looks interesting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure what other.
Look at the rest of these.
Wicked. I'm excited for that one. Obviously, Katie, we're gonna go over that one, right? On your
Wicked. Yes, we are gonna do Wicked together. Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited to see Wicked, but every time Cynthia Erivo opens her mouth, she says,
"Oh my god!"
Increasingly unhinged.
As a musical theater fan, she's always so annoying. Like this is something we've come to get used to. She's so fucking annoying.
What else was she in?
Who is this?
Cynthia Erivo. She's been in like she's been on like Broadway musicals. I forgot which ones, but like she's annoying. She complains about everything.
I saw Wicked
she's a victim.
with Kristen Chenoweth in it right after she won her Tony for it. It was incredible. She brought it on stage. It was wild.
This has nothing to do with any of that, but Marta saw Amelia Perez, and in her very Marta way, I could tell she didn't like it at all. And I'm like, ooh, that's not good. The Amelia Perez, that's another Oscar contention movie.
Yeah.
That's the one that's got Zoe Saldana, and it apparently, according to a lot of people, it tries a lot of things and doesn't work at any of them.
What movies are going to be up? I mean, we're coming close to
Gladiator 2, everybody's favorite. Not me, Ridley Scott.
It's the best film ever made. So
Hollywood Reporter, 12 leading contenders for Best Picture.
Wait on me.
Their list. Anora, which seems good.
I like Sean Baker. Fine.
Yeah.
Blitz, which what happens when a single mother and her son are separated in Blitz era London.
All right.
Okay. The Brutalist.
that one sounds cool.
A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan. they're really like grasping at straws this year, huh?
Yeah. We didn't have Barbenheimer.
Conclave, which is
that's a Edward Berger movie, right?
I haven't seen that yet. Yeah.
Who did?
I hear great things though.
He did the remake of the war movie everyone likes. We did it.
Edward Berger.
Western, All Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front. Wah wah wah. That one. Oh yeah, that's all I had to do.
The one that
remember, Cody, you had like a little sound thing. You're making like a remix.
I flash composed a remix that did that show.
He's the one that just did Submerged for the Vision Pro. He just did that immersive movie on the Apple Vision Pro, I think.
Oh really?
I heard about that. Yeah. This like a fucking conclave. This is like a pope dies and everybody wants the big job, right? That's the big thing.
So is that a Dan Brown novel?
Yeah, Dune Part 2 probably is going to take a lot.
Conclave?
I think it's going to be a Dune year again. Amelia Perez.
That's the one that I said that Marta, in her very awesome Marta way, did not care for, and you can tell.
Gladiator 2.
So, all right, I like Paul Mescal quite a bit. I think he's a very talented actor, and I think the Emperor is like Idris Elba, maybe. But Ridley Scott, come on, let's stop and think.
No, it's Denzel, isn't it?
Is it Denzel? Okay,
yeah, I think it's Denzel.
People are mad about his accent, still sounding like whatever. And I'm like, who fucking cares?
Ridley Scott has made 3 timeless movies and like 40 mid ones.
Yes,
like I mean, I don't know.
His brother
Denzel Washington is an actor who never changes his accent. He's a John Malkovich. Or an H. John Benjamin. Like you get that voice in that role.
I want to see.
That's quite the spread.
With my voice, KT.
I would love a Bob's
but it's true.
Gladiator, Harry.
Like we watched because in this household we like Archer a lot. And when Lindsay saw what H. John Benjamin looked like, she's like, he looks like that. I was like, well, he doesn't look like. Yeah, that's what's funny.
I mean, when we had Sam Cedar on the podcast because they've known each other since childhood because he's the voice of Hugo. He was like, "Yeah, I tried to get John Benjamin on." We were like, "Yeah," and then we were all like,
casually, like,
just
past it,
like it ain't nothing. Oh yeah, my bud.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, and then afterwards, we were like, "Wait a minute."
What else we got for us?
So, The Seed of the Sacred Pig. That's that movie about a family in Iran.
Okay.
Oh.
I think I saw people like talking about it. All right, so there's a family in repressive Iran is torn apart by politics.
That's
politics.
I think
that would never happen in Christian America. A family would never be torn apart by politics.
It's called Feet of the Sacred Pig. Is that what it is?
The Seed of the Sacred Pig.
Oh, I misheard that. Sorry.
That was quite a grapevine.
A couple people I know dug that one. Okay. What else?
September 5th. That's one day in Munich in the ABC control room during the 1972 Olympics. Didn't they already make that with the movie Munich? Like what?
Oh, is that about when the terrorists like had like him hostage or whatever?
Yeah, that's literally the same as the movie
Olympics.
Munich. Yeah, Spielberg already did that.
I think this is from the side though. This is from the the news part of the journalism part of it, not the actual goings on.
Well, we love journalists.
Oh.
Hey,
Did you say
Spotlight.
you had seen it?
Peter Sarsgaard and some other
Reason to
people.
believe Sorkin-esque urgency about big media topics. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
There's
Not
everything about this
Sorkin.
something I don't want to watch. And then so we have Wicked is on the list here.
Yeah, Wicked
Yeah,
probably
actually, I
get,
wanted
like,
to
10
just say-
designs.
I just wanted to say one thing about Wicked before we move away from it because we kind of just glossed over this. I will be doing an episode with Christina on What If I Don't Like It
Oh,
because
cool.
I haven't seen any of Wicked. I haven't heard any of the songs of Wicked. I just have been like, no, not yet, no, not yet, no, not yet. I didn't get a chance to see it on Broadway, and it never really came around here, and so they haven't made it into a movie until now, and so I just avoided it entirely because I didn't want to just hear the songs out of context, and I had not seen The Wizard of Oz until you guys made me watch it at the beginning of this year.
You had
So
never seen the Wizard
Isn't
of
that
Oz?
crazy? So if you
Yeah.
go back to first episode of the year, we kicked it off by doing the Wizard of Oz for another adventure month, and KT had not seen the Wizard of Oz, which is crazy because it's like as culturally ubiquitous as it is, like it's kind of rare to find someone that hasn't seen the film. Right?
Yeah.
So it was a super special episode just for that. But I thought it was a cool way to start it off the year.
Katie,
So-
did you do theater in high school?
Yes,
And you
I did
never heard
theater.
Wicked?
I am older than you think I am. I am
not
too
gonna-
old to have had Wicked was not. I'm 39. I was not out. I was not in
am I.
high school when Wicked was a musical. Nice.
I'm 31, so
You-
I'm was in that target demographic.
You would have just graduated high school when Wicked hit, because Wicked launched in 2003, and that's when I graduated high school.
Oh yeah, I just missed it.
Interesting.
We're doing Brazil for my birthday, where I turn 47 next month.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. But yeah, I went and I moved away to Massachusetts, and I never came back, and I never heard it. I do love Kristen Chenoweth, but it was like not like an avoiding because I think I hate it. It was an avoiding because I wanted to get it well, and now I'm a little bit nervous that I'm like, what if I get it in this movie and it's shite? Would I even know if it's going to be shite? Like I have nothing to compare it to, so I need Christina to hold my hand and tell me.
Christina to help you.
Schwartz. I can't remember.
Yeah, Stephen Schwartz.
Stephen
May
Schwartz.
the Schwartz be with you.
Like he, Children of Eden and
Yeah.
The Baker's Wife. I mean, he's fantastic. There isn't a bad one in the musical.
I told it's the seed of the sacred fig. I thought it was the feet of the sacred pig. I was way off. I was so far off. That's totally different than what it was.
When I was in like middle school or whatever, I was in like a high school or a middle school that had like arts or whatever, and they forced us to dance. Dance was my least favorite class I had to take, so I'm just not a mobile like body person.
Dancing through life.
And they made us dance. No, they made us dance to Popular. They made us come up with a
Oh my
dance
god.
to Popular. And ever since then, I think Wicked's like the music from it's all right, but like I just get flashbacks to that.
I also went to a public school in New York City, and there's a rule where you can't do a show for money, even if it's a public school, if it's within 50 miles of an other production of it. So we could never do anything that was currently on Broadway, or we'd get in trouble.
wow.
We
Yep,
also couldn't
same.
do anything where we couldn't afford the music for a lot of shit. Like we couldn't even afford to get the band to play with us, so we do it a cappella. Like it was we did Fiddler on the Roof a cappella, and it lasted an extra hour because we all sang a little slow.
Oh yeah, it's
Wow.
why every high school was doing like Rodgers and Hammerstein and stuff, because that wasn't being shown anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so the final film that's on this list,
All right,
The Wild
what else?
Robot.
I've heard that's pretty
I
good.
hear that
It's-
is so good.
That might. I don't think it'll win against Inside Out 2. I think Disney and Pixar have way too many political connections to not win that.
Mm,
But
all about politics.
it probably should.
I saw the
Yeah.
trailer for it when I was what was I going to see recently? I saw the trailer back to back of this and Wicked. They were back to back trailers. It was a weird mix of it was when I saw Beetlejuice.
Mhm.
that makes sense.
This is it's got like wall to wall 4 stars on my mutuals. So
Yeah.
So
wanna
who
see
has
that.
seen Wild Robot?
I haven't seen anything new. The last movie I saw in theaters was Lawrence of Arabia. So
nice.
Last
I'm worried I'm
one.
going to cry too much in the theater. That's why I haven't gone to see it. I don't want a dirty cry in the theater.
They said that's Katie Baldessaro from TikTok and that podcast. We're looking at her. She's crying.
She crying.
Shut up! At the dispensary, I got harassed by somebody who recognized me by this podcast. So
there you go.
I had to run. I ran inside. Yes, they recognized my hair. They came up to me and they said, "Why, you must be KT," in the creepiest way possible.
Ooh,
and I didn't think there was any reason they should know my name. So I ran. That's where they had cops. I ran inside and we closed the door and we all looked out through the window until they left. Sorry.
Isn't it crazy that now the cops hang out at the dispensary rather than raiding it?
No, you have to have the cops in the dispensary. Yeah. There's a security guard that lets you in the door.
Yeah, but I'm saying
it turned out to be one of Andy's friends.
They used to raid it and take it down, but now the cops actually work there. They got them.
Yeah. See, it was like the only thing that brought in revenue to the city when I lived in Oakland. Ooh. That and parking tickets. So I'm sure
I gotta go watch We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't already.
Why do you think I was going to play in my theater?
It seems stupid. We live in time. Of course, we live in time. We also breathe air. But that must be a better title than I think it is. I just don't know, right?
We live in a society.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw a preview for that when I saw A Different Man, and it was one of those previews. I'm like, I feel like I just saw the whole fucking movie. Like, why did
just snippets of the whole movie? Yeah,
it was too much.
They're making movies just based off of Christina's posts.
Yeah,
we've established that canonically. Yeah.
I literally said as soon as I heard that they were presenting at the Oscars, I'm like, those two better do a movie together. And lo and behold, after they presented,
they did.
Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield are going to be starring in a romantic drama called We Live in Time, and I'm like,
generated by AI.
I'm so excited for the sequel where they're living happily in time, and then Chicken Shop Amelia busts in, and Andrew Garfield.
There you go.
Well, maybe they're setting it up to be a time travel movie in the sequel, where they live on time and ooh.
It's another
Spider-Man. We live out of time. Yeah. Am I right?
And it's like Memento, and it's all out of sequence.
Oh, that's my time. Dies. Harry, thanks so much for hanging out in the after party too, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on for the episode and the after party. Speaking of we're living in time, we are in fact living in time. And so we're going to call it here at 58 minutes. Living in time. Thank you guys for being in time with me, because if you weren't, where would we be? We'd be out of time. And if you're out of time,